Dongsheng is an ordinary math tutoring teacher. No one thinks one day he would plan to kill his in-laws. Dongsheng comes home from work as usual. His wife has been fed up with him for a long time and wants a divorce. Dongsheng goes to the market to buy groceries, hoping to cook for his wife and change her mind, but when he returns, he finds his wife and her parents talking about the divorce. They all look at him with disdain and annoyance. Meanwhile, Yang is a typical 15-year-old excellent student. He always gets the highest grades in every subject, but his cold and distant personality leads to him being shunned by his classmates. During a test, when the girl sitting in front of him intentionally passes a cheat sheet to Yang for him to give to the student behind him, Yang acts like he doesn't see it and ignores them. Out on the sports field, Yang is teased and bullied by his classmates because of that incident. In class, Yang drinks water from his bottle and quickly spits it out. Someone, out of spite, has put eraser shaving into his water. However, Yang's mother doesn't care about this. During parent-teacher meetings, she is very proud of her son's achievements, and to her, that is enough. She doesn't think the opinions of his classmates are important, even when Yang's teacher gives feedback about that. She believes that Yang is naturally envied by others because of his talent. Yang's mom works at a resort in a tourist area, so she is very busy and rarely at home with him. Two orphans, Liang and Pupu, hide in the back of a cargo truck to get to the city. Liang even steals a blanket and some bread at a rest stop for Pupu because she is sick, and they have no money or anything to eat. Liang and Pupu lived in a welfare house, but Pupu's younger brother has been adopted and is seriously ill, needing a $40,000 surgery that his adoptive family can't afford. Pupu wants to go to the city to find a way to help her brother, and Liang goes along to support her. By morning, they arrive and walk into the city. Liang tries to contact an old acquaintance of his father's to arrange a meeting and ask to borrow the $40,000. The man promises to help Liang but later calls the police to have him arrested. Luckily, Liang and Pupu manage to escape in time. Meanwhile, police officer Chen who arrested Liang's father years ago. So when he gets the report that Liang has run away from the welfare house, he feels responsible for finding him. That night, Liang and Pupu go to find Yang. Liang and Yang used to be best friends during primary school. Yang's mom is away at work, so Yang invites his friends into the house. Of course, Yang can't help them with the money, but he shares his dinner with them and lets them stay the night, and Liang and Pupu are grateful. The next morning, Yang wakes up first and goes to get breakfast for everyone. Before leaving, because he's still unsure about Liang and Pupu's intentions, he sets a small trap using his mother's hair to hide her gold jewelry. When Yang returns home from the breakfast shop, he runs into his mother also returning home. Yang breaks into a sweat, knowing she would scold him if she found out he had let strangers stay overnight. But when Yang and his mother get home, they see that Liang and Pupu have already left. Yang's mother has work, so she immediately heads back to the office. Yang then checks his trap and finds everything still in place. A little while later, Pupu and Liang return. It turns out they saw Yang leave the house and thought they shouldn't stay while he wasn't there. Shortly after, Yang's father calls to invite him to hang out. Yang's father is a wealthy company owner, but when Yang was young, his father didn't spend much time with him, and now, with his new family, he spends even less time together. Today, his father takes Yang to buy shoes, and Yang is very happy. However, his father's second wife, Yangping, is not pleased and insists on coming along to disrupt the outing. She even brings along her daughter, Jingjing, who ends up stepping on Yang's new shoes. Yangping takes the opportunity to make a snide remark, criticizing Yang's worn-out clothes. That evening, Dongsheng's in-laws have a family gathering, but they don't inform him. When he arrives, everyone looks displeased. It turns out that Dongsheng is originally from another province and moved to this city for his wife. Since he works only as a tutor, both his wife and in-laws look down on him. He hears that they plan to go hiking, and Dongsheng offers to take them to the mountain the next day. Meanwhile, Pupu also wants to hike the same mountain because ever since her parents passed away, she takes pictures of the mountain every year to burn for them as a tribute. So, the three children plan to hike that day as well. At first, Dongsheng is very attentive to his in-laws, seizing the opportunity to ask them to help reconcile him and his wife. However, they refuse, and Dongsheng decides to push them off the mountain. All of this is accidentally caught on Yang's camera. None of them notice the recording at first. That evening, Yang's mother has to stay at the resort because of the accident where the two in-laws fell off the cliff, so Liang and Pupu stay another night at Yang's house. At that point, they review the video recording of Pupu singing and discover the entire scene where Dongsheng pushes his in-laws off the mountain. Dongxing tearfully tells the police that his in-laws fell off the cliff while he wasn't paying attention. Meanwhile, Yang plans to report the incident to the police, but Liang stops him because if they hand over the video, both he and Pupu will be sent back to the welfare house. At this point, Pupu explains to Yang the real reason she wanted to come to the city. Yang still feels worried that Dongxing might hurt others, so he wants to take action. Pupu remembers the details of Dongxing's car, so the kids decide to find his car and leave a warning note, telling him to stop his crimes or they will report him to the police. The children search all day for Dongxing's car but can't find it. Yang's mother calls to let him know she'll be coming home tonight, so Liang and Pupu won't be able to stay over. Meanwhile, Dongxing is at home taking a shower, revealing that he is bald and his hair is actually a wig, perhaps due to the stress of constantly trying to please his wife and her family. With his wife being a bit less harsh on him after the death of her parents, Dongxing feels quite smug. Liang gets a job at the docks, and the two kids stay in a shabby dorm room there. Liang wants to find his father because he believes his dad can help with Pupu's brother. The next day, some thugs at the docks try to steal Pupu's belongings. Liang rushes to defend her and fights back against them. When Liang is knocked to the ground by the attackers, Pupu throws hot water at the leader and helps Liang escape. As they run, Pupu has an asthma attack, but luckily, Liang has her inhaler and gives it to her in time. They go see Yang again, and Yang uses the excuse of bringing the trash out to bring them first aid supplies and food. The three of them then go to a bookstore. While Liang makes a call to Officer Chen to ask about his father, Chen seems unwilling to answer, causing Liang to snap and hang up. Meanwhile, Yang is reading a math book when someone strikes up a conversation with him, none other than Dongxing. Pupu immediately recognizes Dongxing as the killer, and at the same time, Liang finds Dongxing's car. Pupu pretends to be signing people up for bookstore memberships to get Dongxing's phone number, but he quickly becomes suspicious because Pupu is too little to do such job. At that moment, Liang steps in, pretending to bump into Dongxing and manages to steal his mobile phone. The phone is password protected, so they can't unlock it. Shortly after, Dongxing calls from his landline offering to pay a ransom to get his phone back. Liang hangs up the call. And the next call is from one of Dongxing's colleagues asking him to substitute a math class. Through this, they learn that Dongxing teaches at the Children's Palace. As night falls, Liang and Pupu have nowhere to go, but fortunately, the boatkeeper at the docks turns out to be from the same hometown as Pupu. Using her wits, Pupu convinces him to let her and Liang stay on the boat for the night. The next day, the three of them go to the Children's Palace. Yang also sees his stepmother Wang Yao and his half-sister Jingjing there. Yang decides to sign up for an extra math class with Dongxing to get closer to him. After the test, Yang slips a note warning Dongxing about his crimes into the test papers the students submit. Meanwhile, Pupu meets with Jingjing and leads her to the rooftop to talk. Pupu only wants to warn Jingjing not to bully Yang anymore, but Jingjing starts causing a scene. At that moment, Yang rushes to the rooftop, and Jingjing, encouraged, threatens to tell her father so he'll punish both Yang and Pupu. As Yang and Pupu try to leave, Jingjing escalates her tantrum, crying louder and even biting Pupu. She then threatens to jump out of the window to make it look like she's being bullied by them. Yang tries to stop her, but before he can get a word in, Jingjing slips and falls. At the same time, Officer Chen spots Liang and struggles to chase after him to talk. They both witness Jingjing falling into the courtyard below. Chen immediately has to handle the situation, and the three kids take the opportunity to flee unnoticed. Jingjing is rushed to the hospital, but she doesn't survive. Yang and his mother go to the hospital to comfort his father and stepmother who are devastated because of Jingjing's death. The police discover blood and skin tissue in Jingjing's teeth and want to find out who it belongs to. They even visit Yang's house to question him and take a DNA sample. Meanwhile, Dongxing grades the test papers and finds the warning letter from Yang. At first, he panics, but then he notices the imprint of writing on the envelope. He shades over it with a pencil to reveal the letters and compares the handwriting with the test papers. Discovering that Yang is the one who wrote the letter, Dongxing confronts the three kids. He initially tries to gaslight them, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but the clever kids know he's a murderer because they have video evidence. He then offers to pay them in exchange for the footage, and the kids are tempted, thinking the money could help Pupu's younger brother. However, Dongxing, being just a lowly tutor, can only offer 30,000 yuan, but Pupu needs 10 times that amount. Dongxing gives the kids his contact information and tells them to think it over before leaving. Later that night, while taking out the trash, Dongxing sees his wife hugging and kissing another man downstairs. It turns out she's been cheating on him for a long time. The next day is Yang's birthday. He was supposed to spend it with his dad, but his father is too devastated by his daughter's death to celebrate. So, Yang spends the day with Liang and Pupu. The two kids had carried heavy crates for a convenience store in exchange for a pen to give Yang as a gift. The next day, after thinking it over, the kids decide to demand 300,000 yuan from Dongxing and call him. He tells them to come to his house. The kids are cautious. Yang and Pupu go to Dongxing's house to collect the money, while Liang waits in front of a police station with the video evidence. If they don't return by 4 p.m., he'll go straight to the police. At Dongxing's house, he complains about the large amount of money and lectures them, saying that kids should focus on studying. Pupu retorts, "Do you study to learn how to kill people?" Dongxing is silenced, and he stalls for time. Nearing 4 p.m., Yang tells him that Liang is waiting outside the police station with the video, and if Dongxing doesn't let them go, Liang will report him to the police. Dongxing admits he doesn't have that much money to give them right away. He then hands them a bank card and promises to transfer 30,000 yuan every week until they reach the full 300,000 yuan by the end of summer. The two kids take the card and rush back to meet Liang, who is about to walk into the police station to report everything to Officer Chen. Yang and Pupu arrive just in time, and Liang quickly changes the topic, saying he was just there to visit Officer Chen. Officer Chen believes him and invites Liang to his house for a meal. While there, Officer Chen's granddaughter starts playing with Liang's bag and pulls out the camera. Liang, not noticing this, asks Chen about his father, and the two get into an argument. Liang storms off. That night, when Liang returns to the boat, he realizes the camera is missing. Officer Chen finds the camera at his house, but its battery is dead, so he can't see the video. The next day, Chen visits Liang's father, who turns out to be receiving treatment at a mental health facility. This is why Chen hadn't wanted Liang to know about his father's condition, fearing it would upset him. Meanwhile, Yang's father, stepmother Wang Yao, and the police review CCTV footage from the children's palace. They see Yang leaving the place right after Jingjing's fall. Wang Yao immediately accuses Yang of being responsible for her daughter's death. She confronts Yang, accusing him of killing Jingjing, and when Yang insists he didn't do it, she lashes out, chasing and beating him. The commotion causes the neighbors to call Yang's mother. She rushes over to protect her son, but Wang Yao turns on her too, claiming that Yang's mother had instigated her son to harm Jingjing. Fortunately, neighbors intervene, pulling Wang Yao away and forcing her to leave. Afterward, Yang and his mother go to the hospital to treat his injuries. When they come back, they find the neighborhood plastered with flyers labeling Yang as a murderer. Although his mother hurriedly tears down the flyers and tries to comfort him, Yang remains deeply saddened. The next day, Liang and Pupu come to console Yang, and the three of them decide to go to Officer Chen's house to retrieve the camera. Pupu pretends to be a lost child and knocks on Chen's door. The kind officer helps her find her way home, leaving his house unattended. Meanwhile, Liang takes the opportunity to break into the house, and Yang's job is to stay outside and keep watch. A while later, Officer Chen's wife and granddaughter return home unexpectedly. Liang quickly hides under a cupboard. While hiding, Liang tries to make the little girl laugh but ends up making her cry loudly instead. Fortunately, this prompts the grandmother to take the child outside again, giving Liang the chance to retrieve the camera. Pupu, hearing the signal, pretends she's found her way home. When Officer Chen grows suspicious, Yang appears and claims to be Pupu's older brother, leading her away safely. The three children are happy that they successfully retrieved the camera. Meanwhile, Wang Yao continues to harass Yang's mother. She goes to her workplace to threaten her, but the director intervenes, testifying that Yang's mother was on duty that Saturday. In reality, the director is her lover, and they had been together that day, which forces Yang's mother to lie. This situation makes her extremely uncomfortable, and she storms off, feeling humiliated. The next day, Wang Yao is still determined and pretends she wants to thank the person who found her lost bag on Saturday. Through this ruse, she discovers that Yang's mother wasn't on duty that day after all. Wang Yao then takes her accusations to a public level. She goes to the tourism broadcast station, locks herself inside, and uses the PA system to announce that Yang's mother is a murderer who killed her daughter, Jingjing, and that the director is covering for her. A crowd gathers, but Wang Yao refuses to open the door. Finally, Yang's mother, pressured by the situation, reveals the truth that she had been with the director at a hotel on that day. Unbeknownst to her, Yang had come to the area to burn tribute offerings with Pupu and Liang, and he hears everything his mother confessed. That evening, tension rises between Yang and his mother. Yang confronts her, asking why she didn't tell him the truth. His mother, feeling ashamed and cornered, lashes out, blaming his father for being irresponsible and accusing Yang of being too young to understand how difficult it is to be an adult. This leaves a deep strain in their relationship. Soon after, the director also tells Yang's mother that he wants to end their relationship. His own mother wants him to marry a single woman and has introduced him to a suitable match, leaving Yang's mother heartbroken. Meanwhile, the kids check the account linked to Dongxing's card and find that no new money has been deposited, even though a week has passed. They call Dongxing, who this time turns hostile. He tells them that he has no more money to give and that they can go to the police if they want, but warns that since they've already accepted money from him, they could be charged with blackmail and be considered accomplices. He suggests they accept the money and hand over the camera. Dongxing thinks this will scare the kids off, but Yang still attends his class. After class, Yang confronts him, saying they aren't afraid of his threats. Yang tells him they will tell the police that Dongxing tried to bribe and threaten them into silence. And since Dongxing has killed 2 people, the death penalty is likely. Realizing his threats aren't working, Dongxing changes tactics and tries to divide them by offering Yang all the money if he hands over the video. But Yang refuses, saying he doesn't need money, he's doing this for his friends. After class, Yang's father picks him up. Liang and Pupu try to catch up with him, but Yang gets into the car with his dad and leaves. His father gives him a pair of swimming goggles and promises to take him for swimming lessons, which makes Yang happy. However, Yang soon realizes that the real reason his father wanted to meet was to probe him about Jingjing's death. When his father goes to the restroom, Yang looks inside the bag to put the goggles back and finds a recording device. It dawns on him that in his father's heart, Jingjing was the child who truly mattered. When his father returns, Yang shares a childhood memory of a rare occasion when his dad took him to that same place to eat. His father doesn't remember, but Yang does, because those moments with his father were so rare. Yang then tells his dad that if he could, he would have chosen to die instead of Jingjing, so his father wouldn't be so sad. His father, ashamed and unable to face his son, lowers his head in silence, filled with guilt. Dongxing's wife remains firm in her decision to divorce him, despite his attempts to reconcile. She has a passion for swimming but often suffers from low blood sugar, so she takes a pill before going into the ocean. Dongxing secretly swaps out her medication when packing her things into the car. As she prepares to leave, Dongxing pleads tearfully for another chance, but his wife just says bye and drives away. While watching her leave, Dongxing smirks, knowing that his plan is set in motion. Soon after, his wife goes swimming as usual but ends up drowning due to the pill Dongxing tampered with. Her lifeless body washes ashore.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.